follow-up question regarding the content postings on LinkedIn is the personal branding side. And I see that that's also a huge part of job seekers, creating that personal brand out there. So we talked about being authentic and building relationship and having trust. Is there any other things that people should know when doing personal branding, especially nowadays on online or social media?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So I would answer that question by saying everyone has a personal brand, whether they think so or not. Your personal brand is just kind of like this fancy word for what is your reputation online. And if you look at how increasingly relevant this online thing is going, it's the internet is actually, in my opinion, actually much more powerful and can give you the ability to scale more than real life. So once you start thinking about it in that way, and just so people totally get this a big picture view, is I'm also in the virtual reality and augmented reality industry. And for those of you that don't know, VR and AR is basically going to be the next level of social media. It's going to be the infrastructure. And what it's going to be is it's no longer going to be I'm just looking down on my phone. It's actually going to be this personal branding, this LinkedIn stuff is actually going to be real life. It's actually going to be in front of people. The phone is going to disappear. We're going to have augmented reality glasses and headsets and eventually contacts and lenses. I don't know what the future is going to look like, but it's once you start understanding that, you really do understand the importance. So I think it's just straight up the most important thing is to understand how important this stuff is. This is not some gimmicky, silly video that you're going to put up. This is actually becoming more important than life itself. And it can lead you to a lot of real life opportunities that wouldn't even come close to you if you were just doing real life. I'm going to give you one example just so I make sure people understand it. When I was 15 years old, I lifted my family out of poverty. I lifted my family from an entirely different financial class by pressing buttons on a machine called a computer. And that same thing is also called your personal brand. So I just want people to understand this. And I've been put in positions in real life, perhaps getting a job, that have come from me online personal branding then. So it's I want everyone to understand the importance of that, because once you do, you're going to start executing daily. I'll tell you, I think one of the biggest issues for people is I see somebody, post a video on LinkedIn, and, they'll post a video, they'll post another video next week, and then they'll stop doing it. And it's just listen, you need to be posting content on social media as much as possible, as much as sustainably and consistently possible for you. Everyone's got a sort of different vibe on this. For somebody, let's say that has the money, okay, let's say there's some kind of executive, or let's say they are somebody that comes from a good background, maybe the best thing for you might be, hiring a coach or hiring somebody to teach you how to do this stuff, and for you to be accountable for $5,000 a month to teach you how to actually do this. I don't know. For me, I didn't do that. For me, it was about just trying to get in the rough and tumble way, because I've been doing this for the last 10 years, even though I'm a super young guy. So I'm used to this, but I know a lot of older people may not necessarily be used to making this personal brand, posting content online. But it's I just want you to understand the power of it, and you need to be posting as much content out there as possible. And you just got to be realistic and practical about it. For me, I have a daily podcast, and I also try to post once or twice or three. I was trying to post as much as possible as I can on social media. That usually looks like a video, maybe an article, a text post, maybe a tweet, and different stuff like that. And I'm very active on email, but that's what I think it's all about, man. And the other last thing that I would say is I think people should be doing exactly what you are doing right now, man. What you're doing is you are associating your name with other people like me. It's how I grew to have a top 100 podcast. I started interviewing people like Seth Godin and Dan Schawbel and all these great business leaders. That's how you actually start to expand your audience and start to grow. So I think kind of like having all those different things in mind, like I think those are like the raw basics that you need to. And like honestly, man, this is what I'll say, bro. Like I'll say a lot of people out there that are like trying to be gurus and experts about social media and personal branding, like what they're trying to do is they're just trying to sell their information. And they're trying to give you a bunch of, gobbledygook that doesn't really make much sense. But I think the main thing is that people need to realize, like, it's not about like the hacks. It's not about the tips and tricks. It's not about like the techniques or like the algorithms. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about the fundamentals that I've been telling you about this entire time of being genuine, of posting consistently, of being trusted. Because everything else is based on your own abilities, and nobody, unless like you hire somebody to sit down with you, is going to be able to tell you to do that. So like I would just like keep that in mind when you're seeing all these other content and all these other videos online on social.
Yeah, everyone is different. Everyone is bringing something different to the table. Your uniqueness, your authenticity is important, and that will take some time. But you need to have consistent schedule. You know, some people already have a full-time job, but they want to create this. So you can go side hustle like what I'm doing, or posting daily, or reaching out to other people and just trying to build it, and hopefully reaching out to as many people as possible and impacting their lives.